In this video, Captain Hiroko. Hi everyone, this is Alfie. Welcome to the Warzone Chronicles. And as I said in the intro, this episode is going to be a bit of a strategy video on a unit, of course, from Mishima, that doesn't get as much love, I think, as it should. Okay, so we'll go through his stats, and then we'll see a couple of scenarios in which we can see what he can really do. Okay, so let's go through his statistics. Okay, so speed of 5, pretty average. Okay, regular speed. A close combat of 16, not at all. Defense of 4, which is really good actually. Range skill is 15. Bad. Strength of 10, Constitution of 10, Willpower of 15, Leadership of 17, Wounds 3, which is his main weakness, but an armor of 24, Impenetrable armor of 10, which is not bad at all. Then size 0 and 115 points. Perhaps a little bit steep, but I think it's still worth it. Right, so type is character, it's infantry, it's unique, and it's medium base. Okay. Deployment options, regular of course, and infiltrate, which is a really good option for him. Okay. In his equipment we have his weapons, and worth noting is the grappling hooks at 6, which means that you can move him vertically without those 6 inches being taken from his movement allowance. Essentially, you can move him up or down and still move. In options, we have this model has the Kudo and Feet of the Marine key powers for free. Okay, we'll see later. And also, he gives any unit in your army that carries a Tambu #1 Shogun assault rifle +1 in the weapons strength. Okay, which makes the assault rifle a little bit more interesting. Right, let's take a look at his weapons now. So his main weapon is the Tambu #17 sniper rifle, okay, which has a range of 26 inches, strength of 15, which is massive, rate of attack of 2, not bad, and the type is S, which means that when you perform a battle focus action, your range increases by 6 inches, your rate of attack is reduced to 1 with slow to reload, that you have no cover modifier, and in Hiroko's weapon case in particular, it also gains critical force 2, which means that it can cause 2 wounds with 1 hit. Okay. On top of that, the weapon has the abilities of concussive for units of size 2 or lower, and pinning. On top of that, he also carries 2 submachine guns, okay, which have a range of 18, not bad for a submachine gun. Strength of 9, okay, acceptable. Rate of attack of 2, and type is automatic. But it has this short range burst, which means that when you shoot at targets that are closer than 12 inches, that means that your range of attack increases by 1. Okay, and as Hiroko has paired weapons, the paired weapons ability, that means that we have 3 rate of attack, 3 dice each. Okay, so that's 6. Okay, we can increase that as well. In close combat weapon, we have a samurai sword with a range of 1, strength of +2, so that's 12, rate of attack of 2, and type CC. Okay, abilities. He has camouflage at 2, okay, which means that when he's in cover, the negative modifier is not just 4, it's +2, okay, so that's -6. He has paired weapons, which we have already discussed, and the sniper ability, which means that when you perform a battle focus action, the target unit cannot be guarded. Okay, key powers Kudo, which means that basically that you give the squad the ability Eagle Eye 3. Which means that when you perform a battle focus, it ignores 3 points of negative modifiers in RS. And the Feet of the Marine, okay, so it's a psychic ability, and that means that it reduces the the target unit's speed to 2, okay, which is the minimum. Alright, so those are Hiroko's stats, okay? So now, the reason why I wanted to do this video is because I hear a lot of people commenting on, you know, how they can't really fit him in his in their lists, how he's a bit expensive, all of that, you know, and I think most people, you know, what most people do with Hiroko is, you know, have him on top of a piece of terrain and just snipe. Most of the time using the battle focus action, which gives you all of those bonuses, which are great. However, I personally think that that's not the best use that you can make of him, because, you know, that leaves him in a vulnerable position. In particular, if you're shooting at someone who's in range, I mean, who can shoot you back, and, you know, Hiroko doesn't have a great armor and only has 3 wounds, so he's very, very delicate. So he's quite mobile, you know, and I think, you know, he can be used in different ways, okay? So let's take a look at those scenarios that I've thought of, and hopefully that'll give you a few ideas on, you know, how to use Hiroko alternatively. Right, guys, so let's take a look at the first scenario, in which we have Hiroko here over a piece of scenery, and we have a receipt, you know, over there. Okay, so under normal circumstances, what we would do is, you know, use the battle focus, you know, to try and, you know, take, you know, 2 wounds, because, you know, with battle focus, as we have already discussed, we can, I mean, we have critical force 2, and the receipt has got 3 wounds, so, you know, it would be better to try and take down the receipt. And also the receipt has got cover here from his line of sight, okay, so that would be the normal thing to do, but that's the typical thing, and, you know, not a huge fan of the battle focus action with Hiroko, because you lose all of your rate of attack, you know, it goes down to 1, and it also gains slow to reload, so there's only 1 shot really, and you could play. But for the sake of this scenario, let's imagine that would not happen very often, of course, but let's imagine that there's no cover. What I'm going to do is shoot at the receipt, okay? So his ranged skill is 15, and as I'm shooting without battle focus, I have 2 dice. Distance is, yeah, well within range, 26 inches here, okay? So that's range scale of 15 minus nothing, okay? So I roll 2 dice. I could always spend a resource to try and to get an extra dice and try to get the 3 wounds. It's unlikely, but we can try. Okay, so I do that. I spend a resource card. Okay, and just the 1. Sorry, just the 1. Okay, and I have an extra dice. Okay, so 15 or less. Okay, so we have 17. That's a miss. 7 and 13. Okay, so 2 hits. Okay, now the receipt would defend. And I will try and save. His armor is 26 minus 15. Okay, so that's 11. Okay, so that's a fail, and that's another fail. Okay, so as you can see, you know, we have caused 2 wounds, you know, instead of the usual. So, as of now, you know, we haven't even finished Hiroko's activation, okay? Because we have only spent 1 action point to shoot. So, what we can do is, as we have 6 inches here, okay? Don't forget that Hiroko is equipped with grappling hooks. So, what we can do now with Hiroko is, using his grappling hooks, we can move him vertically down up to 6 inches. We would have an extra 2 inches for, you know, free fall, so up to a maximum of 6 inches. Okay, and that doesn't take an action point. So now we can move his normal movement for another action point. That would be the second, and we get him out of line of sight. Or we could just leave him there, okay, because there's no line of sight. So we could move him, say 5 inches, or whatever we wanted. What I would strongly recommend, also is, either by, moving and spending a resource card, or simply by leaving him there, is to put him on evade mode. Okay, that way, if someone tries to attack him, assuming that they have line of sight and everything, if he's in cover and everything, he would be on a -10. But evade is actually very important for Hiroko. Okay, so for our second scenario, we are going to try and see how powerful Hiroko's shooting, can be with, as opposed to using his sniper rifle, his submachine guns. Okay, okay. So the situation is, we have Hiroko. He hasn't been activated yet, and we have this squad of hussars trying to flank him. Okay. Could be the case, that they're trying to, get him from the back. It would make no difference, So now it would be Hiroko's activation. Okay. So his key powers are not really relevant here. So our first action for 0 points is going to be to simply pivot. That way we keep him in cover. Another thing that we could do, depending on, what the terrain situation is, or, where, the attacking squad is approaching from, etc., etc. One thing that we can always do, remember, he has grappling hooks, so he has up to 8 inches, really, of vertical distance that, that aren't taken from his movement allowance, because of the grappling hooks, and plus the 2 extra inches of, free fall, okay? But in any case, what we're going to do now is just keep him on the rooftop, and he's going to shoot from there. Okay, so as a matter of fact, let's put this down to 12 inches or 1 foot. Okay, and as we can see here, again, they're all well within 12 inches, which means that, each submachine gun gets an extra rate of attack. Okay, so that would be 6. What we can do is spend a resource, okay, to give us an extra dice. Okay, so we'll do that. Burn a resource, and that means that we have, let's see. So the original rate of attack is 2 plus 1 for being for attacking, targets that are closer to 12 inches. It would be 3 plus 1 for the resource. That would be 4 times 2 for, because we have 2 submachine guns. That would be 8. Okay, so we are rolling 8 dice. Okay, because of the priority rule, the priority target rule, we would need to attack this one, okay, which is the closest or the nearest. But what we can do is simply, choose to attack the squad leader, which is this guy over here, so that we have a wider range, okay? So we can cover pretty much all of the squad. Okay, so let's do that, okay? So for that we need to roll leadership. That's not really much of a problem for Hiroko with a leadership of 17, okay? So we roll leadership, and we get a power shot. Okay, so yeah, obviously no problem. We can, select. We can choose the squad leader as the primary target. Okay, so what we're going to do is primary target, and then we're going to assign, because they are all within 3 inches. Maybe this one isn't. Let's see. Very, very close, but yeah, they are within 3 inches of each other. So that means that we have one dice assigned, because it's secondary target. 1, 1, 1. So that's 4, and 4 for the squad leader. Okay, so we'll roll the non-guarded ones. Okay, because we are going to assume that they're all going to try and protect the squad leader. So we need to start with the
with the secondary targets, okay, because if they survive, they can guard the target. Sorry, the primary target, the squad leader in this case. Okay, so we'll start with this guy. Okay, so range the skill of Hiroko. Let's see. I think it's within. Let's see. I think he is. They're all within probably. Yeah, they're all within 9 inches, which means that we don't have the -2 penalty to my R's. Okay. Let's start with this one. So range skill of 15. He's not in cover. Let's see. No, not really. Okay. So 15. No less. Okay, and we get 5. Okay. So that's a hit. Okay. So the Hussar, has to save, with 20, armor 20 minus strength of 9. Okay, so that's 11 or less. 12, close but no cigar. Okay, so he's dead. He tries to save the weapon. Okay, 17. So the weapon's destroyed. Okay, so he dies. Now this one, in this case, we would have cover. Okay, from this angle, he would be partially covered. Hard to tell, but just for the sake of argument, let's assume he has. Okay, so this would be 15 minus 4. That would be 11. Okay, so 11 or less, he gets a hit. Okay, 4. Okay, so again, we try to save. So that's 20, armor of 20, minus strength of 9. Okay, so 11 or less. So 15, he bites the dust as well. Okay, next guy. In this case, don't think he would have cover. Nope. Okay, so that's 15. 19, okay, not a good day for Bauhaus. Okay, so he saves on 11 or less. Okay, 9, so this guy is saved. Okay, the last one that isn't the primary target, again, he wouldn't have cover. Okay, so 15, 2, so it's a hit, and he saves on 11 on this. Okay, so that's 15. Okay, so another one bites dust. Okay, and now we have 4 dice for him. Okay, so in this case, he would have cover. Again, let's assume that there is cover from this angle. Okay, so that would be 11. So 11 or less, but with 4 dice. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 hits. Okay, 3 hits. Okay, so as we have one surviving member of the team, well, in this case, of course, because we have killed 60% of the squad in one go. They will need to pass a moral test, a broken test. Okay, but let's just finish this roll. Okay, see what happens. Okay, so he takes 1 hit. Okay, let's see if he saves. So he saves on 11, 19. So that's, and we still have 1 hit that he has received. No one else to take the hit for him. So he saves on 11 or less, like the others. And that's 15, so he's dead as well. Okay, so for our final scenario, let's see how Hiroko fares in close combat. Okay, and this scenario we have Golgotha having attacked, Hiroko in her activation, and Hiroko got lucky, really, and he got away with only 2 wounds. Okay, be careful because Hiroko is quite weak that way. He's quite delicate. He only has got 3 wounds. Okay, but good day for him, and he survived Golgotha's attack. So now it's Hiroko's activation, and he's going to attack her. So as they start their activation engage, in this case Hiroko's activation, we only have 1 action point. So what we can do is spend one resource card to give ourselves an extra action point, which we will use for a battle focus. Okay, and with another resource we can give ourselves an extra rate of attack, an extra dice. Okay, so the samurai sword that Hiroko uses as close combat weapon has got a rate of attack of 2 plus 1, that would be 3, so 3 dice. Okay, so first things first, as Golgotha has got the ability Fear at 3 and Hiroko hasn't got Fearless, we need to pass a leadership roll. Okay, so that would be 17 minus 3 for her Fear, that's 14. Okay, so 14 less. Okay, so that's 13. Okay, so he can attack. Alright, so first attack, that's the one, using battle focus. Okay, so that's, let's say, 16 close combat ability, close combat stats. Minus Golgotha's defense, which is 2, so that would be 14. Plus 2 for the battle focus, that's 16 again. Okay, so it's 16 or less, it's a hit. Okay, so let's see. So that's 5, that's a hit. So, strength of 10, Hiroko's strength, plus 2 for the samurai sword, plus 2 for the battle focus, that's 14. Okay, Golgotha's armor is 23, minus 14 would be down to 9, but she has impenetrable armor of 9, okay, so, sorry, of 12, okay, so 12 or less, that's a wound, okay. So, well, no, she doesn't pass, so that's 1 wound for Golgotha, okay, and we still have two possible hits, okay, so the next one is 16 minus 2 for her defense, plus 1 for her size, okay, so that would be 16, 14, 15, okay, so 15 or less, it's a hit, okay, and that's 15, okay, so again, she tries and save, impenetrable armor of 12, so saves, okay, and the last attack, that's again 16 minus 2 plus 1, okay, so that's 15, okay, and that's 3, okay, so it's a hit, and Golgotha tries to save with 14 dice, sorry, 12 dice, oh, and that's a fumble, okay, so that's another wound for Golgotha. Okay, so as you can see, Hiroko's obviously not such a heavy hitter that he will take all 4 wounds out of Golgotha, but he can defend himself, and he can do something. He can definitely do something in close combat, so he's not completely useless that way. Obviously, he's going to die in the next activation, but well, if we get the initiative, maybe we can finish her off instead of the other way around. Okay, so that's Hiroko in a nutshell. Right, so there you have it. Excuse the mistakes. I forgot. Certain modifiers and things like that in some of the scenarios. So sorry about that. But essentially, it's for you to get an idea of different possible uses of this, in my opinion, fantastic unit. So the idea is move him. Okay, get him out of line of sight, put him in cover, use evade, and that way you'll be fine, and he can do a lot of damage. Okay, so now as usual, this video has been sponsored by Warzone and Wargames. So that's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. What do you think? What's your opinion? Have you played Hiroko? Have you faced Hiroko on the table? What do you think? I'd like to know. So please leave us a comment in the videos. And also for ideas on how to paint Hiroko, here's the link on how I painted him. But again, just as a suggestion. Okay. So as usual, thank you very much for watching. Please consider sharing, subscribing, link, like all that. Okay. So until then, see you in the next video, and keep Warzoning.